Well folks, in a week that's been full of rumour and suggestion for Jurassic World Rebirth. New toy lines being revealed with potential new creatures. We don't talk about toy lines on the channel because I get copyright hit. And also, you know, the trailer, there's been suggestions we might not see the full trailer until the Super Bowl next February. Although we may see a teaser before then. However, we have not been entirely neglected. As of just about an hour ago, we have 4 brand new stills from the film to check out. Let's have a look. So these come to us from Entertainment Weekly, these 4 new images, and the first one shows Jonathan Bailey and Scarlett Johansson here discussing things in their mobile van trailer kind of thing. It kind of has vibes of the science trailer vehicle from the Lost World Jurassic Park, and that's the official name. Don't check me out on that. And I think you kind of get that vibe from the background. You've got all the science equipment, but you've got some nonsense lying around as well. It's a little bit slapshod, but quite scientifically advanced at the same time. You can see they've got tables to work on. And obviously the most important part of the shot is this lockbox, this scientific lockbox kind of thing. The orange and black we're going to see again in just a moment. That's clearly the colour scheme that we're working with for whatever this new company is. We know that InGen is going to be involved in some capacity in this film because we keep seeing them mentioned, even if they're just a relic of a bygone era. But there's obviously a new company responsible for the pharmaceuticals, and this is our first proper hint at their sort of theming. What I suspect this box is the containment box for the genetic samples. As we know in Rebirth, their goal is to go around and get genetic samples from the 3 biggest creatures from land, sea and air. I don't know how they're going to justify that. I'm very excited to hear how, but I'm pretty sure this is the box wherein they're going to contain and transport those samples off island. Isn't too much else to say about this one. Jonathan Bailey's character does appear to be holding, I'm not sure what it is. It's like a top or a very small crumpled parachute. Maybe it's got like little hooks on it at the bottom to attach. It looks like something that would open. I think it is a small parachute for dropping an item. I think something's been airdropped, maybe the box itself. Maybe that's something to do with how they get rid of it and send it back off island. So the reason we think that box is so important is really because of this next shot as well. We see Scarlett's character again, and she's in her full Tomb Raider attire for this one, and you can see she's got the lockbox in her hands. You can see it's been beaten up as well. This is clearly quite a lot later in the film. You can see it's dirty, you can see it's dented, it's taken some smacks around, but this is important, this is vital, this is the thing they're there for. This is the DNA samples that are going to save the world, essentially. There's a disease ravaging the planet, and this is what's going to save them. So this is the most important thing on the island to them, assuming we're correct. Now, I mentioned the black and orange earlier, and of course in the background you can see the Jeep there. You can see the orange around the trim around the windows, and you can see the black at the sort of the grille sort of area there. It's got a very interesting, very angular design. Jurassic Park in the vehicles was actually quite soft, lots of curves and stuff like that. This is verging on Cybertruck. It's very sharp, very pointed, very angular, gigantic front windows, huge lights, and a massive logo on the grille. Now, it's hard to look too much into that, but the logo does look quite similar to me to the sort of shape we saw on the ships in previous videos. I'm not going to go into those because, again, that's more spoilers in those content, but it's vaguely similar or something we've seen before. Definitely looks like a hardy vehicle designed for tough terrain, and they're going to need that because we have a very cool shot of 3 of the gang exploring through the swamps. You can see again the box behind Scarlett in the distance. It's being dragged along through the swamp area. They're spotting something in this murky, swampy water. Now, there are 2 possibilities as to what this could be. We can talk openly about the SPINOSAURUS because that's been rumoured for such a long time, and I would suggest at this point, SPINOSAURUS is all but confirmed. I've been beating this drum since the first rumours about Rebirth started, and it does look like this is going to be the case, that Spinosaurus is going to be in the film. Very curious to see what aesthetic that Spinosaurus has though. Will they modernise it with the paddle tail and the dents in the sail and the sort of the general body shape? Very curious to see that. Now, I don't want to dabble too much in rumour, and I'm not going to mention any species here, but there has been a recent toy line. I'm not going to show you any images, but I will say that the toy line did suggest a crocodilian of some form appearing in the film. So maybe that's what we're seeing here. We're in this very dank, very murky swamp water. You can't see under the surface at all. You look at Jonathan Bailey, his character entirely disappears below the nipples, which, you know, is my dream. And that would be such a cool environment to have this slinking crocodilian pull someone under the water and then disappear entirely. You'd be attacked by something you could barely see. Either way, very atmospheric, very cool. But weirdly enough, this might be my favourite shot. We've got Rupert Friend here appearing in these images for the first time. You can see again, there's been some damage done here. He's bloodied up. There's blood near his right ear there. But he still looks like he's in a happy mood. He's got a cut on his left shoulder as well. He's taken some hits along the way. Now we're in the tall grass again, like we are for every single goddamn image. but they're really happy. They're really excited. And they're looking upwards. So clearly they're looking at something either flying overhead or, more likely, something very tall, likely a sauropod, right? Because this is a beautiful moment. The reason this makes me happy is Jurassic Park, for me, one of the most important facets of Jurassic Park that I think goes underutilized in the newer films is it's not just about the spooky dinosaurs and the terror. It's about the majesty of the creatures in the first place. It's about they're beautiful, they're impressive, they're awe-inspiring, they're majestic. And I feel like film after film kind of move further and further away from that. And it's an atmosphere I want this film to kind of get back. Yes, they're going to be terrifying, and yes, I want those horror moments, and they're very important. But I also want moments where they just appreciate the dinosaurs for being these incredible creatures that they were. What we can assume they're looking at here is, of course, the largest terrestrial dinosaur. We know that's one of the things they're looking for, a large terrestrial dinosaur. Likely a sauropod. There's been suggestions again of a new sauropod, that this won't be a Brachiosaurus, that there's going to be a Titanosaur of some description. There's even some rumoured images out there of it. I'm not going to pedal too hard in Discord rumours, but if they're true, it looks pretty good. And it would inspire this kind of beautiful moment. Now, they're going to be happy as well. We know Rupert Friend, at least, and assumingly these guys are. He's part of the pharmaceutical company, and there's going to be a bit of turmoil there. Scarlett Johansson's group and Rupert Friend's group are eventually going to be somewhat against each other, we're assuming, because Rupert Friend's pharmaceutical group has nefarious purposes, because they're a pharmaceutical group. So whilst they look happy and excited and sort of in awe of the dinosaur, it may just be, hey, we found this dinosaur, we're going to make a fortune. You know, it isn't necessarily a beautiful moment. It might be a slightly cynical, capitalistic moment. You never know for sure. It is worth noting that the guy on the right is present in both this shot and in the last shot, so he's clearly working with both groups. Could we see someone turn from one group to the other? Are we seeing shots from before the fallout that happens? We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. But either way, still no dinosaurs, which is fine. I'd rather wait for a trailer for that. But in terms of just selling the aesthetic of the film, in terms of selling the sort of mix of emotions, the sort of quiet stalking through the swamps, the glee at seeing the dinosaurs, the importance of that lockbox and the DNA samples, these images are pretty cool. I don't think I've got too much else to say that I wouldn't just be rambling on, or as much as I am always tempted to do so, but thank you very much for joining me. Thanks to Entertainment Weekly for providing these incredible pictures, and yeah, hopefully, teaser trailer soon. If we have to wait all the way to the Super Bowl for a full trailer, hopefully we get at least a little hint sometime soon. We'll have to wait and see. Thanks for joining me. Throw me a like down below if you enjoyed the video and you're excited about Jurassic World Rebirth. Let me know what you think about these images. Cheers much love as always. Bye-bye.
Road.